So without further delay, and sorry for that, let's dig right into it. Kima Network. So please, would you first introduce yourself? What I offer you is that first we'll go through a personal intro, so you can give us a bit more about yourself, your way to crypto, and then your way to Kima Network specifically. Then afterwards, we'll get a brief overview about the project, Kima Network, what it is about, what our audience needs to know, the main points. And afterwards, we'll dig a bit deeper into it with a selected bunch of questions. Once we'll be done with the questions we already prepared, we can go to our audience through the live chat and see if some questions you find interesting and you want to answer. And finally, we'll wrap this up. What do you think about it?
Yeah, sounds amazing. Let's get started.
Okay, so without further delay, please, who are you?
Yeah, so I'm Eitan. I'll start with a brief background. So my background is in software engineering. I've been a software engineer when I started my career, and all my life I did a variety of roles in the software space, mostly enterprise software. I did product and marketing, sales, services, you name it, I probably did it. Worked for multiple multinational companies such as HP, where I also initiated a global innovation program for the corporate. So I spent most of my time in enterprise software companies, but back in 2013, I came across an 18-page PDF that I got from a friend, and that was a reading experience that really, I would say, changed my professional life. That was the Nakamoto white paper, and when I read that several times, it was a mind-blowing experience, because what I saw there is multiple levels of innovation in both financial space, but also technological and potential social impact. And that is very rare that you see a technology that can impact our lives in so many aspects. And for me, AI is one of these moonshot technologies, but blockchain definitely was one of them. And I got excited about it. I started playing a little bit with this blockchain space, as you call it. So what did we have back in 2013? We didn't even have Ethereum back then. We had Bitcoin. So I started I'm trying Bitcoin. What is trying Bitcoin? It's about buying, selling, and holding it. And very early on, I started seeing some of the challenges of this nascent technology, the security part, the user experience part, and I was very excited, but I also saw the challenges. So like a good entrepreneur, I thought that if nobody is solving it, I should solve it. And the number one problem that I saw was with security of Bitcoin wallets. That was before the days of cold wallets. So typically what you do, you would download an application to your phone, which may not even had the password on it, and you held the Bitcoin in this wallet application. Obviously, this is not secure, so with two friends, we created a new type of a wallet that was the first MPC wallet for Bitcoin that had multiple parties in order to sign a transaction. That was an amazing experience, but that really got me into this space.
What was the name of this wallet?
So that was back in 2013.
Yep.
It was an open source project. So we did it for the community. It wasn't a startup. It wasn't very popular. But what that taught me was, how the space works back then, some of the challenges, and since then I couldn't, think of anything else other than projects in this space. So I had a small startup back in 2017 that did the arbitrage. And back in 2020, with my co-founders, we created another project that wanted to help hedge funds with risk management and hedging strategies. So we created some automatic hedging strategies. And one of the major challenges was, how do you protect assets on ecosystems such as Solana in 21 without having derivatives? So that's when we got into the interoperability space. We started looking at solutions, and we saw that the solutions that existed were not satisfactory from a security point of view and also user experience. So we started building a solution, which eventually we thought that it's so unique in the security and the architecture that we need to go all in. And that's how Kima became to be back in 2021, late 21. We built the first POC for the solution to move money without the need for smart contracts between multiple blockchains. So that's what Kima is all about. Today, Kima is basically the realization of the vision that we had back then, to be able to move money between ecosystems in the most secure and seamless way, even if those ecosystems are not EVMs, are not even blockchains. So Kima is a solution that can move money between bank accounts, wallets, private chains, public chains. It's a completely agnostic to the endpoint technology stack, with a blockchain in the middle that functions as a settlement to remove the needed intermediaries.
Okay, and how does it do it? Actually, if you can briefly give us a brief overview. Like, for example, I am on Solana, and I want to use Kima Network to send myself like tokens on their, like, I guess, EVM version on my MetaMask. How do I do it?
Right. Yeah, I just realized that you asked the name of the project earlier, and I kind of talked. So the project back then was Aegis, AEGIS. It was featured by Bitcoin Magazine, by CoinDesk back then. So those of you who want to go back in time and take a look at it, it's obviously today, 10 years after, it's outdated with cold wallets, but back then it was really groundbreaking. So going back to how Kima does what it does. First, let's understand what it does not. Kima doesn't mint any synthetic tokens to make the interoperability happen. That means that so why not? If you're familiar with other bridging solutions, which are all great, but some of them do the lock and mint thing. So you lock at the source and you mint at the destination.
Absolutely.
And to me, this is coming from enterprise world and being so aware of security and risk challenges. The analogy I have is that in a way, it's like sending someone money. If I have a $100 bill to someone, I want to send you $100. I will just take a photo, or will just use a fax machine to fax you $100. So you have a photo of a $100 bill, and you have my word that I will never use the $100 to avoid the double spending. I will put it in a safe box or a vault, and until you send me back the photo, I will not use the $100. And so obviously that could work, but it's not very secure, because if a hacker takes ownership of these synthetic tokens, or takes ownership of a way to mint them, then they can mint an endless number of bills. And that's really what happened many times with bridges. That is one type of hack that took place. So going back to Kima, our approach is to have Kima is not just a blockchain that validates transactions. It's a blockchain that also manages aggregates liquidity across the chains that it supports. So we have a network of wallets, if you will. Those are EOAs, externally owned accounts, similar to wallets, on every chain, every ecosystem that we support. Unlike smart contract-based solutions, those EOAs, that the funds are being kept in accounts and not in smart contracts, and the keys to these accounts are being broken down to shards, to pieces that are held in a hardware component and in the validator nodes. So the only way to withdraw funds from a Kima secured account is by reaching the threshold, the consensus of the validators that need to vote and share their key shard in order to sign the transaction. So it's a bit of a complex cryptographic algorithm called TSS, Threshold Signature Scheme. But to simplify it, I would say that Kima is the only solution that the blockchain secures the funds, and not someone that holds the keys.
Yeah, not the smart contract. That
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Got it. Interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, I think that's a clear oversight. So right now it's live, right? You have been, it's already possible to do it with all the blockchains you support, as you mentioned. Like, could you tell us which blockchains you support with the Kima?
Yeah.
At the moment?
Yes. So with the TGE, we also launched the mainnet. Right now it's on testnet, but we were now launching the mainnet, which the token is needed obviously to pay gas, and this is why this happens in tandem. The chains that we support are Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, Tron, Optimism, Arbitrum, Avalanche. I'm forgetting a couple more. We're soon going to support Bitcoin, which is currently on testnet. It will be rolled out to mainnet soon. Bitcoin, native Bitcoin. So you will be able to move BTC to WBTC and vice versa. And next year, and I'll probably touch on it later, we're going to add fiat into this equation. So you will be able to move US dollar to USDT, USDC to US dollar, back and forth with the same API. No need to change anything. We will keep adding more chains and more assets, and applications that utilize the Kima API and SDK will not need to do anything. The API is future proof.
Okay, quite clear. So interesting. Let's dig into the TGE actually. So it's it's around the corner now. We are seeing it. Can you give us a quick overview of what this means for the project overall and for your community? I guess your community has been here since 2021. You've been building it since 2021. How excited are they, and what does it mean for the project overall now?
Yeah. So first, the meaning. So being a proof of stake network, the TGE means that the token is available, which means that it can now truly secure the network. This is why we also launched the mainnet in tandem. So
And be staked, I
eh,
guess.
sorry.
And be staked, I guess, as well. But we'll go through it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that means that for the first time, projects will be able to move real money. So far, they were able to move faucet money from test nets, and now this is production. I want to put a quick disclaimer here because this is, we call it an early access version. That means that there are many limitations that we have put in place because we want to see how things work in terms of performance, security, experience, and so on. But this is something that, I've been in the software space for over 3 decades. I never saw a rollout of a project without any issues and bugs. So
Yeah,
I don't
me
think
neither.
I don't think this will be any exception. This is only expected, but this is why we have those early access limitations. This is a precautionary way. This is the right, responsible thing to do, and we will, as we mature, we will move them gradually. But the chains that I mentioned, I probably forgot one or two, are available. Bitcoin will come next. We have a few that are planned as well. And the community as a whole can now, with the TGE, become part of securing the network, which is a really exciting thing. Our community is really just up. They've been asking for it for a long time. And we are happy that we can start really working with the community, which is growing pretty fast, and have them becoming part of it. Our plans, we'll probably touch on it, involve also securing transactions coming from the financial system. So this is an amazing opportunity for the community to be part of a new financial technology that nobody tried before, a blockchain that settles transactions without smart contracts and is completely agnostic and can handle also on-chain fiat settlements.
That's actually interesting. So I guess this is something that you do with partners, traditional fiat settlements, right?
Yes. So you're absolutely right. Blockchain cannot open a bank account yet.
Hopefully.
No, as crazy as it sounds, maybe in the future DAOs will be able to open a bank account and manage bank accounts in a decentralized way, but so far it's not possible. But so we need an entity, a licensed entity in every jurisdiction to hold the bank account, and that bank account is just an account that is being managed by that licensed entity, but the actions in the bank account are driven.
It's just a vector. It's a vector with it gets the requests from the
Exactly.
Kima
From the
network.
blockchain. Exactly. So the validators, they sign transactions which are translated to API calls in the bank account. So the settlement is still done on chain in exactly the same way that it's doing it for crypto transactions, but the endpoint is an API for a bank account and not some kind of an EOA.
Okay, really nice, really nice. And so you mentioned partners to do it. So bank accounts, yes, you have to work with I guess all. I mean, you need one large partner in each region, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
And what other types of partnerships have you had over? I mean, in the industry overall, because I guess you've been fishing for partnerships both in blockchain sector, but also in the traditional finance sector with such
Correct.
a setting.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So indeed, so two examples. So on the Web3 space, we have quite a few partnerships. We seem to get the number one feature that really excites Web3 projects is the fact that now they will be able to accept fiat payments and send out fiat from the Web3 applications, from smart contracts and on-chain games and the DeFi projects without an intermediary. So there's no need for an intermediary exchange that will exchange fiat into crypto and vice versa and take hefty fees. So now all you need to do to make it happen is to just use the Kima API or SDK, and the Kima blockchain will settle that transaction. So on the Web3 space, there's a lot of interest and excitement about what we're doing. On the Web2 space, so as well, we partnered with, for instance, an innovation lab by that MasterCard fully owns, named FinSec Labs. They're pretty. They're very interested in both digital assets and cybersecurity projects, and they chose us, and we worked with them, and they also invested in Kima in order to enable MasterCard-related use cases. So the first one that we did the POC with the MasterCard issuer that issues prepaid cards. And what they were interested is in creating the extra link to stablecoin holders. So what they wanted is that people will be able to top up their MasterCard prepaid card in a seamless way from their MetaMask wallet without using an intermediary. There are multiple companies offering such a service, but those are intermediaries that function as exchanges. And the whole narrative of doing it peer-to-peer without intermediaries, right? This is why we built the blockchain in the first place. So that the whole thing gets diminished. But Kima changes that because Kima is a blockchain that can do it. So the fees are also lower, way lower than all these other solutions. So we did a POC with the MasterCard issuer, and we showed how people that do not have bank accounts can now use MasterCard prepaid card that is being topped up with their MetaMask wallet without needing to go through an intermediary. So that is the type of changes in use cases that exist today, but Kima enables it in a truly peer-to-peer and decentralized way.
Yep, that's a great use case to show for our audience. I guess it's something that they can visually envision and really understand better. And so actually there is something that I wanted to ask too more about the token, because now we have the token that's launched, etc. Like for, let's say, we're not going to give the financial advice. Obviously, this is always the same thing, guys. You have to do your own research. We will only give you the keys to open the door. So, Eitan, could you tell us a bit more about the token? What's its utility for users, both, for those who want to use the Kima network, but also for those who are investors and who would want, who believe in the project on the long run, obviously?
Yes. So the number one utility of the token is, so Kima is a utility token at the end of the day, and the number one utility is security. We're a proof of stake network, and like many other proof of stake networks, in order to build a network and secure it, we needed a native token. So Kima is that token that stakers, the validators and the delegators need to stake. And the more staked Kima, the more secure the network is. So that's the number one way for the community to participate, by delegating the token. And that obviously, when the stakes go higher, then the network is more secure. So that's and this is the number one reason for the community that wants to take part, is being part of this movement of supporting this new money transfer protocol. And as I mentioned, this is an immense opportunity to make a revolution in this is how I see it, to make a revolution in the financial space as a whole. It's not just about moving assets from one chain to the other. It's about how money can move in the financial world between ecosystems. And the more fluid it is, it's more accessible, it's more liquid, and so the community can enjoy from it. The other utility is as I mentioned, Kima is geared towards applications for builders. There's no retail-oriented Kima application. We're a B2B2C project, and we want to be as pervasive as possible. So to be in every application that moves money between ecosystems. It's like the Intel Inside kind of sticker that you have on computers. You don't use the CPU directly, right? You use the keyboard, you use the screen, but still you're using Intel or using NVIDIA for AI. You're using all these infrastructure, and this is what Kima is. Kima is an infrastructure that you will be using whether or not you're aware of it. So application developers, they are definitely aware of it. They need to integrate the Kima SDK, and they pay gas fees to the developers to use their compute power to validate transactions. I mentioned some cryptographic algorithms that requires compute power, that requires CPU, that requires the physical infrastructure of the validators, and for that, the developers, they pay the gas fees. And last but not least is the incentivization of the validators themselves. So we are generously incentivizing validators. In fact, we pay the validators and the delegators altogether 25% of the transaction fees. So for every dollar that we charge in transaction fees, 25 cents will be disbursed to the validators and the delegators. So it's not just that we say that they are part of the business model, they are actually part of the business model through incentives, and these incentives are paid in Kima tokens as well. So it's not only for charging, it's also for incentivizing the community.
Okay, quite clear. And what is the supply of Kima tokens global?
The full supply is 210 million Kima tokens. But obviously, we do not release it to the market.
Of course. I guess a lot of them are vested or committed elsewhere, etc.
Absolutely, right.
Okay. All this information we can find on Kima Network official website, I guess, the tokenomics, everything.
Yes.
It's all there. Okay, so guys, if you want to investigate Kima Network, we have the official account with us here in the Fireside chat. You can click on their official profile and you'll have access to their official links. So, getting back to us, you already mentioned a couple of features that we could expect in the near future, looking at Bitcoin coming to Kima Network, looking at, I guess more and more opportunities for fiat transfer through the Kima Network, fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat. So apart from that, are there like other features or developments even within the company that we should expect in the near or not so near future, actually?
Yes, and the list is really long, and unfortunately some really exciting things I cannot even mention yet. But
We'll have to do with what you can what you can say.
Yes. So you already mentioned fiat, and this is really something that I would say that's the number one feature request that we're getting in various jurisdictions. So we start in Europe to support euro and dollars, but we were already getting requests from South America and Africa and the US. So we will gradually. It's not so much the technical capability, which will be introduced early next year. It's about also the operational, legal compliance part that we can expand globally. That is something we already mentioned. We are working on something really revolutionary in the real world asset space. That is in the financial space, they call it DVP transactions, delivery versus payment. So in simple terms, this is something that everyone here can understand easily. Delivery versus payment is when two parties want to do a transaction. They agree on the terms, and now it's time to really send the funds and the asset. Let's assume I want to sell you an NFT. So we you sound like a nice guy. I may sound like a nice guy, but we don't trust each other. And I tell you, okay, send me the money, I will send you the NFT. And you tell me, hey, I don't know, send me the NFT, I will send you the money. So this is a problem that is as old as humanity. And so far the solution was to use an escrow. So that's a third party, trusted third party that only when it accepts the payment and the asset, it will release them and send them to the destination. But we are all about using mathematics and cryptography to remove intermediaries, right? And that's what Kima does for DVP transactions. So Kima functions as a decentralized escrow, enabling these atomic swaps that cannot be compromised because we don't have smart contracts. So in a DVP transaction, an application that will enable it, it will enable for the first time peer-to-peer transactions using a decentralized escrow without the potential vulnerabilities of smart contracts, which are also a trusted third party. So in Kima's case, there's no such thing. We will enable transfer or transactions of real-world assets between two parties in a new Kima transaction, a DVP transaction. And that is good for cases like, any type of real-world asset projects, marketplaces, financial institutions that tokenize assets. They will be able to facilitate this transaction, which removes third-party risk. And it's more effective, more efficient, less.
The guess is it's faster, right? Also,
and theory. It's faster, yeah, because you don't. The transfers are local, and you don't rely on a smart contract that will run it. You have to yet another attack vector. So the whole architecture is way simpler to facilitate these fast and cheaper transactions.
Okay, really nice. And so that's the main thing that's coming up, right, at the moment.
Yeah, so fiat and that, these are the main things. These are huge things for, I would say, the first half of the year. We are working on really amazing, groundbreaking things for the second half. Some of them will also be patented, so I cannot talk about them yet. Expect a lot from Kima and
we should expect to hear more from you very soon. That's what you mean?
Yes. Throughout the year, yes.
Absolutely. Well, actually, if there are lots of updates, we would be more than happy to have you back on the Fireside Chat so we can see how things evolve, like, let's say, in 6 to 8 months, once your new products are there, new features are there. and we will already have some kind of, I guess, largely we'll have the feedback about how the first version of the testnet went. I mean, live went, and so you'll already have looked at around all the main issues that may arise and probably corrected them by then.
100%. Happy to be here. Yeah, happy to come back.
Nice. So actually, well, we still have just a bit of time. If you find one question that you would find interesting among in the live chat from our audience, you can check it out. And if you see one question that you want to answer, now is the time.
Okay, I'm looking.
I'm checking as well to see if there is something that we haven't covered, because this has been pretty thorough, actually, both technically and in terms of the token description, its usage, etc. Well, actually, that's a question that could be interesting. I don't know if that's actually your focus, but we have a question here from Steve. How did you get the community involved in developing the project, and how did you build a strong community to grow globally? Because since your focus is more to be B2B2C, that seems counterintuitive. Like, for example, with let's say projects that rely much more on their community of retail, to grow.
Yeah. So, great question. And our community strategy is divided to two parts. One is the actual community that, as I said, we see it as partners to help sustain and secure the network. So again, it's a matter of participation of large numbers. So the more staking, the more secure the network is. So this is why we wanted a vast community, not necessarily the builders community, but rather a community that shares the values and understands the vision and wants to be part of what we're building, to be aware, to get educated about the innovation and be part of the Kima journey. So that's one part, and that's the more, let's call it quote unquote retail, but although it's not really retail, because we do want people that understand what is the vision and want to be part of securing the network. The other is really, as I mentioned, the developers community, and that the person who asked the question is absolutely right. And here we've been working for a long time now. We have a pretty good already pipeline of projects waiting for the mainnet and providing feedback, providing requirements for what's coming. We learn a lot from their needs. We learn a lot from the challenges while integrating Kima, and for their businesses that they want to enable. And this gives us a lot of, I would say it helps us build a very meaningful backlog for the developers, for the builders community. And this is something that we want to nurture. We want to put many more resources and emphasize in the coming months, because now that the mainnet is available, it's not just a theoretical conversation about some kind of a test net, of a beta. It's real, it's available, and this is something that we will emphasize in the coming months. That means that we will have more.
Now you want to be stress tested.
Exactly. We both technically and also stress test the assumptions about the business and the value proposition. It's not only the technical stress testing.
Even in terms of business model, etc. You want to see if it actually works.
Exactly. So for that, we plan to have more grants, hackathons, AMAs for the builders community. This is really an integral part of our strategy.
Okay, so a whole communication plan is coming up, and we'll hear about it.
Sure. Yes.
Okay, cool. So I think we have been pretty thorough. Eitan, I'm gonna give you one last couple of minutes if you want to say more about one aspect that we might have been overlooking throughout the AMA. If not, well, I guess we can wrap this up and send our audience once again back to your official links so that they can investigate. But please, you have the last word.
Yeah. So I think we were very thorough, and I really appreciate the time and the opportunity to be here and talk about Kima. Last word is again. I cannot stress enough the importance of the community. So I really encourage the community to take part in voicing their voice, providing requirements, helping us really building something that the world actually needs, and help us secure the network and be part of the builders community. So I encourage everyone here to be part, follow us on social media, and don't just follow, be an active participant in the conversations that we have in the groups.
Yeah, it's like voting, but better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for having joining us today. It was really interesting. We went into large depth, and I hope we kept you guys interested and that we made it simple enough for everyone to follow with us. In case you have questions, in case you want to dig deeper into Kima Network, how it works and how you can join the communities, the project, etc., it all is happening on their official social media and social links, and that you will find here. We have Kima Network as a co-host on the fireside chat. Please don't hesitate to join, and I guess there will be somebody to answer you. It's pretty much sure that you can directly contact them straight from these communities and links that you will find on the official page. So thank you, Eitan, once again for having joined us, and actually eager already for the updates about Kima Network that we will hear from in a couple of months, and to see the results then for a next fireside chat.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this conversation. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Likewise. Have a nice day, you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.